Oh, thank you very much, Prime Minister, for taking a few questions from the audience and from me. My name is Anna Sauerbrei. I'm a foreign editor with the German weekly newspaper Die Zeit. I would like to start with the one question that is, I think, on all of our minds right now, and that is the question of your assessment of the situation in Ukraine. Do you think Ukraine can win this war? Will Ukraine survive as a sovereign country?
Yes, I do, unquestionably. The question is how long it's going to take, how we manage to get there with the least amount of loss possible, how we are able to ensure that Ukrainians continue to thrive in a vibrant, independent country. Russia's invasion of a sovereign, independent neighbor for narrow, not even narrow, very personal self-interests by Vladimir Putin. It's not in the interest of the Russian people to be invading Ukraine. And the world is strong and united against it. We are focused on not seeing escalation or expansion, because that would be bad for everyone. But we are going to continue to stand with Ukraine as long as it takes. The sanctions that we've put in on Russia will be able to stay in place as long as necessary to ensure a free and independent Ukraine once again.
Canada has been on the forefront of supporting Ukraine. You've just announced another $1 million package of military aid today. Still, Ukraine says it needs more. It needs a no-fly zone over Ukraine. Would you support that? Are there any circumstances that Europe and Canada can go further?
First of all, a little history. Canada supports Ukraine for two reasons. One, because we have shared values, a shared desire to stand up for what is right, and it is wrong to illegally, arbitrarily violate the territorial integrity and sovereign of a democratic country that is choosing its own path forward. So we stand because of the wrongness of what Putin is doing, but we also stand for very personal, historical reasons. After Ukraine itself and Russia, Canada has the largest number of Ukrainian descendants in the world. In early 20th century, a massive wave of migration of Ukrainians came and settled the Canadian prairies primarily, including Christia's ancestors, and built Canada in a very real and tangible way. And the pride of Ukrainian Canadians continues to this day, and the concern and preoccupation and heartache that Ukrainian Canadians are feeling with this violation of their homeland is palpable. So yes, we will continue to stand up and support in every way we possibly can. But NATO has made the determination, and we agree and stand with NATO, that direct conflict between NATO planes or fighters and Russia would not bring about a better outcome for Ukrainians, nor would it bring out a better outcome, especially for the rest of the world. That the crippling sanctions we are putting forward, the condemnation of the world, and let us be clear, yes, this is a European conflict, but it has ramifications around the world. And in my conversations and in my foreign minister and finance minister's conversations with people around the world, from African leaders to Asian leaders to everywhere, the principles at play here, this sort of neo-colonialism that Putin is engaged in, this violent overturning of rules and principles that we all agree to abide by through the UN Charter, is a threat to stability, prosperity, and peace everywhere around the world. And that's why an unprecedented condemnation of 141 countries at the UN is a clear signal that we are all not backing down from this fight.
one last question from me, maybe. You can get yourselves ready to ask your questions. But I wanted to ask about something that Europeans are very scared about, and that is Vladimir Putin's threat to use nuclear weapons. He has put Russia's nuclear forces on a special regime of combat duty. Do you take that threat seriously? Does your government take that threat seriously?
We always take all potential threats to Canada extremely seriously, and the threat of nuclear war is one that Canada has long stood against. Back in history, we were one of the few countries many decades ago that was offered nuclear weapons in the Cold War, and we chose to say no. We steadfastly decided that nuclear armaments was not the right path forward for us, and obviously not for the world either, but we continue to make sure that we're doing everything we can to avoid that. The concern is that Putin is in a situation where there's no easy out for him, because the path to victory is extremely unclear right now. Even if he were to be able to occupy all of Ukraine, the crippling sanctions that the world has put on Russian leaders and on the Russian economy means that over the coming years of the very difficult occupation of Ukraine, Russians will continue to suffer tremendously because of Vladimir Putin. So we just need to continue to look for negotiated outcomes, look for a way to de-escalate, but we are going to do that in a way that recognizes the fundamental violation of international law that Putin is responsible for, and let Ukrainians decide on the path they want forward. The international community is busy leaning in and talking and trying to look for paths through this, but nothing about the Ukrainians without the Ukrainians is something that we have to stay true to.